Well, good afternoon, folks. It is 4 o'clock on Tuesday, April 7th. And as promised, I am back for another session of Sqanning, Sqanning, the simple relaxation technique which I've developed and which I'm looking very much to share with you and anyone else who you might want to tell about it. Again, it's Sqanning, Sqanning. I am trying to create regular hours for these scanning sessions, because in that way, people who want to keep practicing with me know when I'm going to be on, and they can pop in for as little or as long as they like. The sessions go approximately 20 to 30 minutes. Today's went a little longer than that. Sometimes we just kind of get into it. We just keep going. The lessons are completely free. This is just something that I've, as I said, developed over the years, and am very much interested in sharing with the public at large as a way to induce a deep state of physical and mental release and relaxation. So we'll wait for a few more people to show up. As I said, I typically do these sessions. I'm trying to do them 3 times a day, around 11 in the morning, and then again at 4 in the afternoon, and then if I can squeeze in another, usually around 8 o'clock in the evening. And again, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So, welcome. This is a technique which I developed called Sqanning, Sqanning, and it's similar to the word scanning with a C, S-C-A-N, as in to scan your body, to a sort of scan of your body to assess your level of tension and adjust it accordingly so that you learn to induce a deep state of relaxation on your own. It empowers you to create that sense of relaxation and calm without having to, smoke a joint or drink a bottle of whiskey or anything like that. It's giving you the power to control your own well-being. And I spell it with a Q just to kind of make it a little different, to stand out as a relaxation technique. So I'm going to give a brief description of the technique, and then we're just going to jump right in. You can learn the technique in about 1 minute, and then you can be on your way, or you can stick around, because what I do during the sessions is I just repeat. It's a cycle of steps, and I just repeat it, and I talk about it, and what you can expect to experience, and what you might look for in your own practice of the technique, and so on. So, Sqanning, Sqanning, is a form of relaxation, very simple to learn, very simple to practice, which uses a process of incremental release of muscular tension. The incremental release of muscular tension. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. If I say to you right now, take a sense of where you're at, tension-wise, and then on my count, I want you just to release an incremental amount of tension, 1%, 3, 2, 1, release. And take a mental note of how that feels and the difference between being contracted or tense and relaxed or released. That's all this process does, is it builds an awareness within you of the distinction between tension and release. So that when you get clear enough, a physical sense of the difference between those two sensations, you can induce the latter, or relaxation, whenever you like. Take a breath, and let's begin. So my approach is what I call the body-mind approach, as opposed to trying to induce relaxation by thinking of a technique or saying a mantra or repeating a sentence or thinking about what I should do. I take a directly muscular approach. I concentrate on inducing this state of relaxation in the muscles, which in turn leads to a relaxation of the mind. So it's a body-mind approach as opposed to a mind-body approach. And the way we do that is very simple. You simply clasp your hands together. My hands, I'm sitting in a chair with arms, so I have my elbows on the arms. So you can see my hands, but you can also just put them in your lap and do it this way. The important thing is that you clasp your hands gently and concentrate and experience what it is to clench or contract your muscles. Get a very, very clear sense of what that feels like. And then what I'm going to have you do on my count is I'm going to have you completely release that grip, completely, let it go completely, and really take note of what that feels like to release muscular tension. And in particular, if that release is felt not only in your hands, but in other parts of your body. So you want that release to radiate through your body. So here we go. Gently squeezing the hands together, concentrating on that sensation of contraction of the muscles. On my count, completely release. 3, 2, 1, release. And take a deep breath. And let it all out. And pay close attention now to the change in your body, in your entire system, brought on by that incremental release of tension. You only released a small amount, a minute amount of tension with that process. But what's important in this technique, mostly important, is that you pay attention to how that felt. Because scanning, or as I spell it, Sqanning, is a process of awareness. It's reinforcing what it feels like to release tension so that you can get better at that and, as needed in your life, apply that technique to calm yourself, to relax yourself, to slow yourself down. So we're going to start again, and we're going to do this a few times, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some of the details of technique. So again, just relax, sit comfortably, and what we're looking for is to build awareness of the contrast between contracting your muscles and releasing your muscles. Contracting and releasing. That's all muscles can do. They can only do two things: contract or relax. That's why I like this approach, because it's not a complicated system. You're asking the muscles to do one of two things: contract or release. And focusing in particular on the sensation of release, building an awareness of what that feels like so that you can induce it on demand. So here we go. Gripping the hands together. Become fully aware of what it feels like to be contracting the muscles of your hands and gripping. That's how we go about most of the day. And on my count, you're going to completely release, and I want you to fully concentrate and take note of the sensation of release, how it feels, not just in your hands, but as that release passes through your entire body. So gripping, and 3, 2, 1, release. Take a deep breath. And let's do it again. Again, the most important aspect of this practice is developing a strong sense of awareness of your body's processes and how this feels. That's the most important part. So pay very close attention now to what it feels like to grip your hands together. And we're going to release on my count. 3, 2, 1, release. And let that sensation of release pass through your body, and note to yourself how that feels. Take a deep breath. Exhale. And again, pay very close attention now to the changes that are happening in your body. And that is step 3. Step 1 is the grip and release. Step 2 is the deep breath and exhalation. And step 2 is the deep breath. Step 3 is a study. You might say a study, a focus on everything that's going on in your body as a result of those first 2 steps. And in particular, in step 3, as you're sitting and still and quiet, I want you to pay attention and to have a heightened sense of awareness of the beating of your heart. And what I feel when I get to this stage is not only the beating of my heart, but an increased awareness of the flow of blood through my body as my veins and arteries and capillaries open up from relaxing and begin to flow more freely, followed by what is typically a sort of throbbing sensation as the blood increases to your feet and your hands and your face. So again, let's do those 3 steps again, just to reinforce the process. This is all it is. You've basically learned it. You are free to go on your way and practice as much as you like, or stick around for the entire 20 minutes as I discuss, in more detail how these processes work. Gripping the hands together gently, concentrating on what it feels like to have a grip, to have your muscles contracted. 3, 2, 1, release. Deep breath. And step 3, sit in that feeling and pay very close attention to what you're feeling, and enjoy the stillness and the quiet as you, in effect, re-enter your body. Because over the course of the day, what we tend to do is extend ourselves into external activities and involve ourselves in our work and in our projects and in our worries, and you lose touch with yourself. So this process is a way to bring yourself back into your body, to experience yourself, to experience what you're feeling. So that's what we're doing. We're paying very close attention to our body and the beating of your heart. Feel yourself, basically. Feel. So let's do this again. Gently clasping the hands together again. Pay very close attention to how it feels to squeeze the hands together. And on my count, you're going to completely release that grip, and you're going to pass that sense of release through your body, wherever you feel it go, into your chest, your arms, your legs, your face, your head. And then step 2, take a deep breath, and step 3, just sit. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, release. Deep breath. And now just sit and study what that feels like. And in particular, pay attention to the beating of your heart. Now, a lot of people will say to me, this is a very strange practice. You always end by doing nothing. I'm not doing anything. That is exactly the idea. Exactly the idea. To refamiliarize yourself and become comfortable with the idea of doing nothing, of letting go to all your external practices, all the things you reach outside of yourself to accomplish, to come back into yourself and just be, to just experience what it is to be. Deep breath. And as this process continues, you'll find yourself comfortably taking longer and longer breaks between each cycle, as you begin to realize that you don't need to do anything at this moment. The goal, what I call home base, is the stillness and the quiet and the awareness of your own breathing, heart beating, blood flowing. That's the goal. That's home base. I like to say we have to run the bases throughout the day, because that's the game. We got to run the bases, but you always want to come home. You start here and you end here. This is where it all begins and ends. Within yourself, doing nothing, worrying about nothing, not trying to accomplish anything, just being. And if you can find that place, your home base, and start from there and get comfortably into that space, then you can reach out into the world in a much more confident and relaxed fashion, knowing who you are. And that's all this process is coming back into ourselves. So let's do it again. Gently squeezing the hands together, taking careful note of what it feels like to be tense, contracted, gripped. And on my count, you're going to release your hands completely and let that sense of release radiate through your entire body. 3, 2, 1, release. In a way, what you're doing is you're giving your body permission to stop trying. You're saying you don't have to do anything now. It's a little vacation. You're giving yourself permission to do nothing. So here we are in step 3, and what you're doing is you're paying very close attention to the beating of your heart and the changes that are happening in your body through this process. And as you're sitting here, you might focus on different parts of your body where perhaps you feel some tension, and take this opportunity to direct your focus to that area, and on your own count, incrementally release that tension. So if I'm feeling tension in my neck right now, I'm going to focus on that tension. On the count of 3, I'm going to let a little bit of that tension go. 3, 2, 1, release. Tiny amount, incremental. That's not only a good approach to muscular release because it's easier for us to approach, because it's not so daunting. It's also a good approach to muscular release because muscles are like scared little children. And if you try to get them to release, they'll lock up. But if you gently say, come this way, just a little bit, just move this way a little bit, then the muscles can be gently persuaded to move towards relaxation. So it's a twofold advantage, incremental release. It's less daunting for us, and it's less threatening for the muscles, because the muscles are reactive. If you'll ever notice, when you get scared, you tighten up. And that's what muscles do. They react, and to protect you, they put up their guard. So you can't just say, okay, relax, because they're like this. You have to say, gently, it's okay. Relax a little bit. It's safe. And slowly but surely, you can coax the muscles into a deeper and deeper state of relaxation. And that's what we're doing. Let's start again. We're going to gently grip our hands together and really register what it feels like to have a grip, to have contracted muscles. And on the count of 3, you're going to completely release. 3, 2, 1, release. Deep breath. Now take 30 seconds to study what that feels like, to have released an incremental amount of tension, and what changes are occurring in your body as a result. In particular, focusing on the beating of your heart, and on a sense of increased blood flow throughout your body. And perhaps you feel now a throbbing in your hands, or your face, or your back, or your feet, as your entire body begins to open up and relax. And just sit with that another 15 seconds. Deep breath. A very important part of this process is training your body to see the benefits of doing nothing. So I encourage you, as you do this process, to take longer and longer pauses at the end of each cycle, to take more extended phases of just observing and listening to your heart. Because you're, again, teaching your body, training your body that it's okay to do nothing. It's okay to just be. In fact, it's a wonderful place to be. And I want you to try to make being still and being quiet and being in your body as valuable as the video game you want to go play, as the shot of whiskey you want to go drink, as that movie you want to go watch, as that piece of chocolate cake you'd like to go eat. Those are all options to make us feel better, supposedly, although somehow they're downsides. We know of those. And I want you to train yourself to understand that this, taking a moment to feel and experience yourself, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour to just sit and experience your own body, is an equally beneficial process. And I want you to put that tool in your toolkit just like everything else. Now, the problem is, if you're tense, if you're wound up, and you have these choices in your toolbox, and you look in, well, which looks the most tempting? The chocolate cake, the shot of whiskey, the joint, whatever it is. Of course, why? Because they're the most easily accessible. We don't have to think. We don't have to concentrate. There's an immediate effect with all of those things. That's why we reach for them. But I would suggest to you that they have their downside, as I said, and they don't truly do us good. They make us feel temporarily better, but usually afterwards we feel bad for one reason or another because we've reached outside of ourselves for the answer. We're dependent on an external item to put us at peace. And whenever you feel dependent on, whenever you feel like you need something to feel better that's supplied by somebody else, it doesn't feel so good. It makes us feel afraid, because what if we can't get it? So we're afraid. What if I can't get to the things I need that make me feel good? What if I can't get to the therapist? What if I can't get to the chiropractor? What if I can't get to my dealer? Sorry. What if I can't get another six-pack? What will I do? Whereas scanning, this turning inward and getting closer to a sensation of yourself, is completely in your control. So when you feel like you have a tool that is not only available, but is more within your grasp and is healthier and depends on no one or nothing, then you feel empowered, because you feel like you have control of your own body. And if you're feeling tense or anxious or whatever, you can take care of that yourself. You have those tools. So when you open that toolbox and you say, which of these do I reach for? Then you choose the one, if you've practiced enough and are disciplined enough, you choose the one that really makes you feel better. Excuse me, that's my phone. And that's what scanning is. Why don't we just do it? Why would we choose this one when it's more difficult? Because if we do it enough and begin to realize that it feels better than all of those things, then we know it's worth the process. We know it's worth the extra effort it takes, the extra concentration it takes, the delayed gratification involved in this process. We know it's worth it because it pays off. It pays off better. So thank you, Paul McKay. Thank you. Thank you for joining. So we're going to start again, keeping those things in mind. And I want to mention one other thing. When you take a breath, let the body guide you. The body has a natural instinct. It has a natural ability to send you a message. It's time to breathe. It's like when you dive into a pool, the deep end, and you know when it's time to breathe, come to the surface, because your body says, okay. So let your body tell you. Tune into your body. Let your body tell you, and you tell your body. Reconnect yourself. Here we go. Gently gripping the hands together. 3, 2, 1. Release. And let that release pass through your body. And when your body tells you to, take a deep breath. It needs it. Completely exhale. And now study yourself. Study the difference. Study how you've changed by those steps. In particular, focus on the beating of your heart and the pulsing of your blood through your body and the throbbing sensation that relaxed capillaries and veins and arteries create as your body opens up and the blood rushes into your feet and your face and your head, back of your neck. And sit with that for 15 seconds. Deep breath. Now, I will tell you that I have been practicing this technique for a long time. I keep a journal, which I recommend because it encourages you to see that how much time you've put in. And I will tell you honestly that every time I start, I don't really want to do it, even though I know it's good for me, because I know it's going to take concentration. I know it's not going to pay off initially. It's just going to make me uncomfortable and antsy and bored and scared of giving up all the things I'm holding on to. So that's a process you may feel. That's an experience you may feel with this process for as long as you practice it. But that's okay. That's okay. As long as you know that if you can hang in there for, say, 10 minutes, you will break through to the other side. It's like there's a bridge you have to cross, and that bridge is a bit of a bumpy road. But if you can take the time to cross that bumpy road bridge, you will get to an island, and it's a paradise of sorts. Now, you could just jump in the water. It's easier. It's right there. But if you know getting to that island will be even that much better, then you say, you just have to make the decision, I'm going to cross that bumpy road. And that bumpy road is having to focus, having to be still, having to be quiet, having to let go of everything that you've been holding on to mentally and physically all day long, all month long, all year long. Letting go. Hi, Richard. Richard's back. Richard says, thank you for this healthy way to get home. This process is like using the least amount of effort to get the maximum positive result. Thank you again, Richard. Thank you. Good, 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 good. Nothing makes me happier than when I feel that I've communicated this and people are understanding. But I must add, this is something you already know. We all instinctively know what relaxation does for it. It's just a matter of getting there. So all these sessions is a way to help you, guide you if you feel you need it, to join me in that process, just to encourage you and cement it as a technique you can use in your life. So let's do it again. Gently gripping the hands together. 3, 2, 1, and pay attention to the difference when you release. 3, 2, 1, release. Your body tells you to breathe. Take a deep breath. And now just sit for 30 seconds and pay attention to the beating of your heart and the change that's taking place in your body as a result of this process. Deep breath. And I like to think of the exhale as a taxi cab of sorts. The inhalation opens the doors of the taxi. You load in as much tension as you can gather up that you sense in your body, close those doors, and the exhale is transporting that tension out of your body. So you've now reduced your tension that much more from where we started. And again, all that matters is that you start, that you try. If I say to you, where are you now? And you say, I've gone from a 10 to a 9.5, I applaud you. I congratulate you. Because if this is life, we're on a treadmill moving forward. This process is slowing that treadmill down, hopefully stopping it. If we can, reversing it, and then bringing it completely back to a complete deep state of relaxation. So anything that works towards that ultimate goal of complete and total relaxation and release is excellent. And it's a cumulative process, I believe. Not only are you training yourself in this process, but every time you do it, it's like putting a quarter in the piggy bank. It's cumulative. Your body remembers. Your body finds it easier to relax the next time. Every time you get into a situation where you feel stressed, you're that much more familiar with the relaxation process. So never judge how your relaxation scanning session went. If you start, you've won. You've put a quarter in the bank. That's it. And again, I'll tell you, I've been doing this a long time, and it's still hard for me, and it's still hard to start, and I still always think that I'm not going to be able to make any progress, and why am I doing this? But if you can just start, if you can just take a moment to put aside your toys, your video games, your television, the food, the drink, the joints, if you can just start by putting them aside and saying, for at least a couple of minutes, I'm just going to be. I'm going to let all that go, and I'm just going to be. That decision, just that decision, is a major victory, because you've recognized that there's a difference, that there's out there in the world, and then there's also here. And this is valid, and it's valuable, and it's healthy, and it's helpful, and it feels good, not just for your physical being, but for your soul. Because you feel, as I said, when you come to this home position where it's just you, still and silent, what you feel is, without getting too psychobabbly, I'm enough. I'm everything. It's all right here. I can feel it. I don't need to do anything or be anything or say anything. It's all right here. I can feel my heart beating. I can feel my muscles. I can feel my lungs. It's a very pleasurable experience. I feel alive. And that's enough. I don't need to do anything else. So that's very empowering. You're giving a gift to yourself. So as I said, if you just start the process, just deciding that it's valuable and valid, you've made a major victory, because that acknowledgement is a step towards letting go of all the external things which have control over your life. You've balanced your life. I'm not saying we don't want those things out there. We need them. We have to work. We have to be in what we want to be in relationships. We have to concern ourselves with our responsibilities. We have to think about what's going on in the world, like right now. We can't avoid that. But what this is doing is creating a balance. It's saying, yes, what's out there is important, but yes, also what's just right here is equally, if not more important. Again, it's like home base. It all starts here. So the process of scanning is bringing you back to home base. And as long as you decide to move in that direction and acknowledge that that's important, you've won. Now go win a few times a day. Let's do it a few more times and we'll call it a day. Thank you very much, all of you, for visiting today. Again, I do these scanning sessions at around 11, 4, and 8. Seems to be when they're settling in. I will try to announce them on Facebook, usually about a half an hour before, to give people a heads up. And of course, you're always free to private message me on Facebook or Instagram and ask me when you think the next one will be, or any questions you have about the process. I'm happy to answer. And if you have any questions here in the comment section as we're doing it, I'm also happy to answer them. So let's do this a few more times. It's a 3-step process. Scanning is the incremental release of muscular tension for the purpose of achieving a deep physical and mental state of calm. And we do that in 3 steps. Step 1, you're going to grip the hands and you're going to pay very close attention to everything you feel now. That's what's important, is that you're paying attention and you're educating yourself. Gripping on my count, you're going to release. 3, 2, 1, release, and let that sense of release pass through your body like you've dropped a pebble in a pond and it's just rippling out, going all out through your body. You're feeling it from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Listen for the body to give you the impulse to breathe. Take that breath. Gather up tension, transport it out on the exhale. And now sit for 15 seconds and register what all that feels like, beginning with the beating of your heart. All we're doing is noting the difference between how you feel now and how you felt when you started this cycle. That slight incremental release. I want you to register the difference. If it's 1% of a difference, it's good. What matters is that there's a shift away from tension and towards release. Again, gripping the hands together. On my count, 3, 2, 1, you're going to release that tension completely and let that sense of release ripple through your body like the waves in a lake after you've dropped a rock in the lake. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, release. Let that pass through your body. Register how it feels. Deep breath. Exhale. And just experience that change. In particular, the beating of your heart and the throbbing sensation that a released and relaxed blood vessel brings to your feet and your head and your shoulders. If you feel a throbbing, that's excellent. That means your body is expanding. Tune into your body, tune into what it's feeling, tune into how it's changed since you started this process. And mentally make a note of and encourage those sensations. You're training yourself to be a relaxation athlete. You're getting ready to go to the relaxation Olympics. And as I always say, you wouldn't just jump into the Olympics, you would train for the Olympics. So you're training yourself to be a master relaxation expert. And how do we become an expert? We practice something, we familiarize ourselves with the technique, we repeat it many, many times. And the more you repeat it, the better you get at it. Now, the difference between this and being a regular athlete is you can do this for a couple of days and take a week off and come back, and it's not like you got out of shape, because you'll remember this. This you'll remember. Hello, Kevin Tenney. Kevin Tenney just dropped by. Yes, of course I remember you, Kevin. Good to hear from you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. I hope I can talk to you again soon. Thanks for joining us. So let's do it again. Gently gripping the hands together, registering what it feels like to contract your muscle. Remember, your muscles can only do two things, contract or release. So now this is contraction. This is what we feel like most of the day. And on my count, you're going to completely release that and let that release radiate through your body. 3, 2, 1, release. Your entire body. And when the body tells you to, take a deep breath. Exhale. Step 3, just observe. And what I feel is a heightened sensation of the beating of my heart. I feel a heightened sensation of a throbbing in my feet, and my hands, and my face as the blood flow begins to enter these areas. These are really good signs. This is a sign your body's opening up and relaxing. This is excellent. Encourage that feeling. You know, you might try at night, sometimes what I do when I'm lying in bed before I go to sleep, you can actually induce a throbbing in different parts of your body. And I consider that a healing sensation because, again, you're opening up the blood vessels. So if you lie on your back and you just think about your feet and think how you want to try to make them throb, you want to open up the circulation to your feet, you'll be surprised. You can make it happen. You can make it happen to your hands. You can direct your focus. You can direct it. You can direct the blood vessels to open up in various parts of your bodies. And again, this process is all about step 1, awareness. Step 2, mastery of your own faculties. First, you observe how your body is working. And we do get out of touch with that. We do lose touch with our body. So it's coming back to observing how your body works, how it feels when it's tense versus how it feels when it's relaxed. Step 1. Step 2, practicing the mastery of those sensations so that you can induce relaxation. Now, we're all really good at inducing tension. I can make myself tense in a second. I can begin to worry about things and try too hard. And we're all very practiced at that because that's not only what we've been taught, but we've learned works. In many cases, you have to go out and exert yourself in the world to succeed. But the opposite is just as valuable. The opposite, inducing a state of relaxation, equally valuable, but we forget about that one. Primarily because it's not seen as having value. It's doing nothing. And secondarily because it means letting go of control, letting go of all the things we're holding on to, so it's uncomfortable. But I'm saying you can have both. You can bring a balance back into your life, and that's all we're doing. We're not letting go of the things we're hanging on to. We're certainly not getting go of muscular tension, which we need to function. I'm just saying, let's relearn the reversed process and bring balance and health, physical, mental well-being back into your life. Let's do it again. Gently gripping the hands together. 3, 2, 1. Pay attention how it feels. Release. Deep breath. Exhale. Transporting tension out of your body. Now, all you have to do in step 3 is pay attention. Listen, feel, observe, starting with the beating of your heart. And now, if you've induced a deep enough state of relaxation, now is an excellent time to actually bring your focus into those areas of your body where you are aware of tension. For me, it's always the neck. I carry a lot of tension in my neck. I think most people do. So as I'm sitting here and observing, I'm going to focus on my neck and focus on those muscles. And I'm going to give myself my own count of 3, 2, 1. And on the 1, I'm going to incrementally release the tiniest amount of tension from my neck. What's important is not how much, it's that there's a change, a shift. Any shift towards relaxation is a victory. Here we go. Maybe pick a part of your body that you feel tension in. I'm going to give a count. 3, 2, 1. I'm feeling the tension. Release. And the fact that my body instructed me at that point to take a deep breath, I take as a very good sign because there must have been some muscular release because my body took that as a cue to relax. And when the body feels like it's safe and there's relaxation going on, the first thing it does is it tells you to take a breath. Because we breathe when we feel safe. We breathe when we have a moment. We breathe when we've dropped everything else and are just in our bodies. So anytime you feel an impulse to take a breath, take it and see it as an excellent sign. Your body's telling you it's on the path towards relaxation. Here we go again. Gently gripping the hands together. 3, 2, get ready to feel it. 1, release. Feel that ripple through your body. Wait for the impulse to take a deep breath. Take it. Transfer tension out of your body. Every bit you can. And now just observe. Study what's going on. Move around your body. How's my neck? How's my chest? How are my feet? And initially, you'll feel as though all your limbs are separate. All the different parts of your body are separate. And then as you become more relaxed, you'll start to feel like there's a unity. Like your feet are connected to your neck, is connected to your chest, is connected to your hands. It's all one. As we come back into ourselves, as we re-enter our body, and as we relax, and the body finds itself again, and you find the body, you start to feel like a whole. And at some point, your body will take over. What I find in this process is, after about 10 minutes, I start to make some real progress. Not that 2 minutes isn't okay. I'm just saying for me. If I stay with it for another 20, I go even deeper. And sometime close to a half an hour, my body just says, I got this. I know what we're doing here. You don't need to put me through any moves or talk to me or tell me anything. I know where we're headed here. I got this. I'll take you there. And the body will just go. Just let go completely. And at that point, just enjoy the ride because, as I said, your body knows what to do and you get to enjoy the benefits. So let that happen. And then stay there as long as you like. If you have a half an hour, great. If you have an hour, terrific. Study that place. Go into that place and stay in that place and study it. Enjoy it. It's like you've been dropped, like I said, on a isolated island in the middle of nowhere. You've been dropped and you're being given permission to just enjoy and study that space. It's not like anything else you do during the day because it's not based on anything outside of yourself. It's just based on what's going on inside of you. You're literally reacquainting yourself with yourself. It's like a honeymoon. It's like a marriage counseling retreat. You and your wife, you and your body are being sent to a remote location to get to know each other again. And you're getting to know each other again. You're falling in love again with your body. I know it sounds corny, but that's what's happening. Because we tend to become so detached from our bodies, we literally lose touch with our bodies. We become distant from our own selves. And rather than reacquaint ourselves through the process of relaxation, we just keep reaching for things outside of ourselves so that we can feel again. We've lost that sense of, what does a shot of whiskey do? It makes you suddenly, feel. I feel, oh, no, there I am. But unfortunately, whiskey has its downside, Now, hangovers being the first of them, what it does to your health and being the second. And then thirdly, it's not a lasting effect. It's a chemically induced effect. This process is a lasting effect. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. The more you will incorporate it, not just into these practice sessions, but into your life. It will become a part of you. Calm will become a part of you. It won't be something you have to pay thousands of dollars for by taking a vacation in the Bahamas, although that's nice. Calm will be a part of you. I have access to a calm place in myself that I can go to when I need. That's what practicing this does. Let's do it again. A few more times. I think we've been going, oh my goodness gracious. I went over again. I always say I'm only going to do it for 20, 30 minutes, and then I get going. So hopefully it's benefited you. I do like to keep going for a while because people come in late, and I want them to benefit from the session if possible. So here we go. 3-step process. Gently gripping, experiencing what that muscular contraction feels like. On my count, you're going to completely release and let that sense of release pass through your body. 3, 2, 1, release. Deep breath. Exhalation. And now, still. 15 seconds. And pay very close attention to what's going on in every part of your body, in particular the heart. And whenever you have the impulse to breathe, take that deep breath. That's your body saying to you, I'm safe. It's a nice thing to do. I need it. Do it. And as you exhale, you're always transporting whatever tension you can scoop up out of your body. You're transforming yourself. It's transformational. Let's do it again. Gently gripping the hands together. 3, 2, 1. Release. When the impulse tells you, deep breath. Transport tension out. And observe. In particular, the beating of your heart. And that sense of stillness is basically communicating to your body that I don't have to do anything to feel good. I can just be. And your body's saying, really? Really? Thanks. Because I've been trying so hard to do stuff, to accomplish, to consume things, to read things, to exert myself, thinking that's what I had to do to survive. And to a degree you do. But this process is teaching you, but you can also just be. Again, you're putting that tool in your toolbox so that when you're feeling in need, when you're feeling insufficient, when you're feeling detached from yourself, when you're feeling at risk, afraid, all the things we feel that lead us to reach out into the world, to consume or participate in things that we think will make us feel better, you have another tool, and that is finding your way back to yourself. And the reason this is different than just sitting down is that a crucial element of this process is the relaxation of the muscular structure. We have to let go of all the things we're holding on to just be ourselves. And the muscles are the ultimate metaphor for letting go. You can intellectualize letting go, but when you physicalize it, you really feel it. When you really let go physically and sense that it's okay, that it's a safe place to be, and not only is it safe, but it feels wonderful, then you really understand how valuable it is to let go and just be. Again, it's a very physical, sensual process, and nothing teaches us more powerfully than something that we feel. We're told ideas all the time. People try to convince us with intellect all the time. If you follow my rationale, you should do this. But when we actually experience something physically, it really stays with us. Because ideas come and go. As an author who I'm going to talk about in my next session says, there's only one truth. There's lots of facts, and facts are different for everyone, but there's only one truth. So you can argue facts all day long. You can debate facts all day long. You can try to convince people that your facts are right as they're trying to convince you that yours are right. But there's only one truth, and the truth is the same for everyone. The truth is the same for everyone, and that truth is just being. When you're just being, here you are. That's it. You exist. That's the truth. Now where you take it from there is up to you. But when you come back to this still, quiet place and experience the truth of who you are, and that you're perfectly okay right here without doing anything, then you're home. One last time, we're going to call it a day. Just before we do it, one last mention. I'll try to come back again today at 8 p.m. I try to do this 3 times a day, 11, 4, and 8. Although that's still kind of taking shape. It's called Sqanning, S-Q-A-N-N-I-N-G. It's a simple relaxation technique using the process of incremental release to achieve a deep state of physical and mental calm. So, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you feel better. Take a note of what you just did for yourself. You just gave yourself a wonderful gift. Register that. Pat yourself on the back and remind yourself that you can do it again. Simply do it for a minute, do it for 2 minutes. That's why this method is designed the way it is, to be simple and accessible. Okay, last time. Gently squeezing the hands together, and on my count, you're going to release that tension and let the feeling of that release pass through your entire body. 3, 2, 1, feel the difference, release. Feel it pass into your chest, into your arms, to your face, into your neck. When you feel the impulse, take a deep breath. Transport tension out on the exhale. Final step, sit, be still, observe the changes in your body. In particular, the beating of your heart and the throbbing sensation as the blood begins to flow more freely throughout your limbs, your face, your chest, your back. 20 more seconds. Deep breath. And that's it. Thanks for visiting. Thanks for another session of Sqanning. And again, I'll probably be on again at 8 tonight, but if not, I'll certainly see you tomorrow. Thanks again, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.